session. So welcome once again, everyone, to this session number 1 of UB Open Learning webinar series. Today, we're going to be looking at the Moodle Gradebook. This is something that people continuously ask me about, and I have sat down with numerous faculty members walking them through how to master the gradebook. So I think that this is a topic of great need for us. So today, our agenda is going to be, first of all, to navigate through the Moodle Gradebook. Next, we're going to look at the different types of gradebook aggregation. First, looking at aggregation by simple mean. Next, by natural aggregation. And finally, calculating weighted averages. So the majority of this, this webinar is actually going to be hands-on demonstration. So from here, I'm actually going to take you right into the course and we'll get a look at the Moodle Gradebook itself. And feel free to just jump in and stop me at any time if you have a question. Excuse me. So what you're looking at here is a purpose-built course that I've set up for the purpose of training on the gradebook. And you'll see that it is set out using the same template that would have been used to build the courses or the course shell that you are using in your Moodle course presently. The course is divided up into several weeks, and within each week, we have pre-built assignments and quizzes into the course already. So the first thing then is, how do you access your gradebook? And there are 2 ways that you can access your gradebook. The first, you can access it from your profile icon in the top right corner, and you just access it by clicking on that icon, and you can click grades and you can see the gradebook from there. Or you can open the left menu bar by clicking the hamburger icon up in the top left, and this is probably what most people do. And grades will be about the 4th item down the list, and you can just click the grades icon there, and it will take you to your course gradebook. Now, the default view is called the grader report. And what the grader report is a spreadsheet that looks similar to the old-fashioned teacher's gradebook. On the vertical column is students' names, first name and surname. Because this is a trial course, I don't have any students added to the course. And then across the top are the different assignments. So you can scroll across and you'll see all of the different assignments that have been assigned in this course. Oops, sorry, I just navigated out of my gradebook. And when you scroll, you'll note that the students' names should be anchored in the left column. And this one is not anchoring. Oh, because I don't have any students' names there. Okay, so that's the default look of the gradebook. You'll notice also that when you navigate to your grades, you'll see, in addition to the grader report, there are several other views that you can look at. One of the most important ones is this one over to the far right, which is the user report. And you use this user report to view the grades as a student would see them. So if I click on this, what I would do is click, so I would select the user that I want to see. Obviously, there are none in this class. What I'll do is actually I will open one of my classes to show you how that looks as well. If I go into my fall class and select grades from here, note again, as I said, all of the students' names are in the vertical column. And when I scroll across, now notice that the students are anchored. Again, user report, this gives the individual students a view of their uh, of their of their grades. I have a question. Oh, good day. So I would just select a user. Let's say I selected Angelica. What I would see then is all of the students' grades as she would see it when she logs in. And at the bottom, the total grade for the course and each of the individual grades that contributed to that total grades. So grader report gives a complete spreadsheet. User report gives the individual student's view. The single view will allow you to select a specific grade item, in other words, a specific task, just so that, let's say that you wanted to see how well students did on, let's say, this particular quiz, Internet Basics. So I will just click on that, and it'll show me how each student scored on that particular quiz. Note that on this page, it will also allow you to input by hand grades for that particular assignment. Because this is an automatically graded assignment, I would have to click the override button, either all or select a student to override, and then by hand, I could enter a grade for that student. So I could click override, and now notice that these boxes are editable. I could go in and enter grades for these students and then click save and not do that, but that's so that if you ever want to change a student's grades who has been automatically graded, you can do it in that way. Those are the three most common views of the gradebook. Also, you can use the grade history. What it would do is it would give a list of all of the particular grades for the selected users. Outcomes report, unless you have included outcomes in your course, which I don't think have been updated for any courses, you could see then what student outcomes had been achieved. Student outcomes are different in as much as they describe a competency. And then the overview report can look at what your grades are for all of the classes that you're teaching at present. Good, so those are the different views. As I said, grader report and user report are probably the ones you're going to be using the most. I'm just going to say something really quickly about letters. Note that the letter grade chart by default has been edited to reflect the UB grading scheme. So if you want to use letter grades, you do not have to edit this, this grade chart. It's already been set for the UB grades. And finally, if you ever want to export your Moodle grades to a spreadsheet, you can just use the export button at the very top, and it will allow you to export it as a Excel spreadsheet, plain text, and those are the two that people will usually want to export as. You would just go through and select the different assignments that you wanted to export, and then just click download. Good. Any questions so far? Now, what I expect that most of you have been coming or came to this webinar is to see how you can set up your gradebook so that it weights your grades appropriately. Now, there are many ways to weight grades, but the two most common ones are either natural weighting or I should say natural aggregation. And with natural aggregation, this is where all tasks are summed to add up to a fixed value. And that fixed value will usually be like a power of 10, like 100, 1,000, whatever the case might be. So for example, your natural aggregation might be 250 points assigned for your quizzes, 350 points assigned for your assignments, 400 points assigned for your exam, so that the total points are summed to 1,000 points. And what this does is it ensures that there is a fixed ratio between your quizzes, assignments, and exams. And if you're going to be using this type of aggregation, the main thing that you would have to ensure is that for all of your quizzes, no matter what each individual quiz is out of, they all add up together to give you 250 points. Similarly, for your assignments, all of them will add up to 350. Now, many people like to have it evenly balanced. So they would say, well, I'm going to have 10 quizzes and they're going to add up to 250 points. So each of my quizzes is going to be worth 25 points. So that I have 10 quizzes worth 10 quizzes out of 25, that's going to give me 250 points. Similarly, for my assignments, I'm going to weight them. I'm going to have each of my assignments worth the same amount. So I'm going to have 5 assignments of 70 points. All of those will add up to 350 points. So that's really the very simplest way that you could set up your grade book. And if I wanted to weight my grades in that fashion, I would do the following. So I'm going to go back to this course. I think this is my natural weighting course. So whenever you're setting up your grade book, you go to Setup. And when you click there, you'll see all of the assignments that have been entered into your Moodle course appearing on your gradebook page. And in this case, what I want to do is to ensure that I have my 10 quizzes, 5 assignments, and 1 exam, and they're going to be adding up to these amounts. So let me go back to my course. Good. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to need to, because your course is set up with all of these assignments and quizzes already in place, you're going to need to get rid of some of them in order to have the quiz, the grade book properly balanced. So let me go back to my course, and I only want 10 assignments. I'm only going to take the first 10. So I will go up to, I'm going to go up to week 11, because I think week 8 was a review week. Oh, no, week 8 is content week. So everything after week 10, I'm just going to delete all of that content. So the first thing I need to do is turn editing on. And I'm going to delete all of these extra quizzes and assignments. Delete. 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 I think I said I only had 5 assignments, so I'm going to need to delete some more of them as well. Delete. Now I know that this may not be a natural or comfortable way that people have of setting up their grade books, but I have noticed that there are some faculty members who are using this method. So I just want to show you the easiest way to do it, because setting the number of assignments is only the first part of it. The real trick is to make sure that the assignments are out of the correct amount. So I have the correct number of quizzes. I also want to delete some assignments because I only want 10 assignments. Oh, wait a minute. I deleted the ones from week 10 as well, so I'm going to need to add those back. Actually, no, I won't add it. I'll just copy one over. I'm just going to copy this, duplicate, and move that down. Okay. Change that to week 10. And so I have 9 assignments left. I need to take out 4 more and delete this one. So I think I should have 5 assignments and 10 quizzes now. I go back to my grade book. Actually, some grades are going to be about to be removed. Yeah, okay, I'm aware of that. Let me go back to my setup. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still need to delete one more assignment. Let me go back. And note, if you see that, if you ever see that message that activity deletion in progress, don't worry about it. That's a process that takes place in the background. Basically, it's there to let you know if you have deleted something, don't go back and try to put scores in for it, because that, if you do that, then it's going to cause an error message when the process is actually run. Those what happens is that whenever assignments or grades are deleted, Moodle runs a process every 5 or 10 minutes to make sure that all of those are cleared out of the system. So it's not a real-time deletion, unfortunately. Good, so I have those grades set up. Now, if I go back to my Moodle setup, you'll notice that this is still giving me an average score down at the bottom. It's giving me a mean of grades. We don't want this. I want to change this to a natural aggregation so that all of my grades just get added up. In order to do that, what I need to do is go into the settings for my course. This is my course up at the top. I click on edit under actions, edit settings, and I'm going to change the aggregation method. I said I just wanted a natural aggregation so that all of the scores will add up. Oh, and I want it to add up to 1,000. So 2 more. Okay. And save changes. And so now note that these weights all of a sudden appeared, and that's because these things have not been deleted as yet. So you know what, I'm going to really quickly run that in the background so that you don't get that message again. It's not letting me run it manually. Okay, it should run in the next 3 minutes or so. Anyway, the point is that the problem right now is that the maximum grade is not going to give us a total grade of 1,000 if I leave this as 100% for each of these assignments. What I need to do is I need 5 assignments of 350 points altogether. So I need to change each of these assignments to being out of 70. So what I can do is go into each of these assignments, and I'm going to select this first one, edit the settings. And what I will want to do is change my total points for that assignment. Go into this, change the maximum grade from 100 to 70, save and return to course. And then I would, if I go back into my gradebook now, I will see that that should be listed as 70. And once I've done all of those, then all of my assignments will be contributing a total of 350 to my total score. I do the same with my quizzes, and this would go to a question that Mr. Farley asked me in an email. You'll notice that when you create a quiz, the automatic score that it's given is 10. That's just a system default. It's not something that is mandatorily, it doesn't have to be that, but that's just the system, what the system has set it for. We can change that if people feel that a better default would work better for them, but we haven't really had any requests to change that from 10. I'm going to want mine to be 25, however, because I want my 10 quizzes to contribute a total of 250. So if I save that, change that and save that, and then again go back to my gradebook, I should notice that now that quiz is reporting as and you'll see now they've run the process. All of my outstanding deletion grades have been done automatically. So you'll notice that this grade is 70, this grade is 25. I would then go through and change all of these to 70 and change all of these to 25 and change my final exam to 400. And then the course total would come out to the appropriate amount. So that's what you would do if you wish to use the natural aggregation method. As you can see, though, it's quite a process to do it this way. Not only that, if you didn't want to have each of your assignments scored out of the same amount, then you're going to be needing to do a fair amount of math to ensure that all your assignments add up to I think it was 350 that we had for that category, and all of your quizzes add up to 250 for that category, and your final exam at 100. Instead, what we recommend, or what we found is an easier way to do it, is to use weighted averages. And so basically how that works is it doesn't matter how many quizzes you have or what the quizzes are scored out of. It doesn't matter of how many assignments you have or what the assignments are scored out of. What it asks you to do is just create categories for each of the different task types and then assign a weight to that category. So what happens then is that even if you have 16 quizzes, that quiz category is still given 25%. Similarly, if you had 10 assignments, that assignment category is still given 35%. So I'm just going to show you how you can set up your categories and then weight them so that, so that the total comes out to be weighted the same 25, 35, 40% distribution between quizzes, assignments, and exams. Note that it's exactly the same weighting as for the natural scoring. Just for the natural scoring, you actually had to give that number of points to each of the different task types. So for this one, what I'm going to do, go back to my gradebook again. And this time, when I go to my setup, I'm going to leave the number of assignments as 13 and 13 quizzes and whatever the case might be. I'm going to take this forum out. Let me go back to the course because that's not going to be included in my grades anymore. So I'm going to go back to the course and I'm going to no longer include that forum. I think that's this one here. So I'm going to edit settings. I'm going to take the ratings off of that. I'm not going to include those, no ratings. And so now it's only going to be exam, quizzes, and assignments in this course. And now I'm going to set up my gradebook so that I can weight these according to categories. So that, again, go to your gradebook setup. This time, when you're going to the settings for your course, I click on edit here. Instead of mean of mean of grades or natural, I'm going to select weighted mean of grades. Okay. Note also that with either of the categories that you use, whether natural or weighted mean of grades, you can decide if you want to exclude, if you want to exclude empty grades, which means that if a student has not passed in an assignment, that empty assignment will not be averaged in with the rest of their grades. If you do want to include those grades, however, you say, that student didn't assign that didn't pass that assignment in, that's going to be a 0. Then you would uncheck this box here. And also, you can decide whether you want to drop lowest grades. Note that you can also do this by categories as well, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And you just select the number of lowest grades to drop. In this case, I'm going to leave exclude empty grades on. What I normally do is leave that exclude empty grades until the very end of the semester, or whenever my absolute cutoff is for that student, so that the student will see a grade that reflects his or her work that they have submitted up to this point. And then I'm going to click save changes. Now you'll notice that for each of these assignments, there now appears a weight that is balanced equally against all others. Presently, all assignments are being given a weight of 1. We don't need to worry about that yet because we're actually going to be categorizing all of these assignments, and what we do to categorize them is create our categories. And so you create your categories by scrolling to the very bottom, click add category, and just give the category a name. I'm going to give the category quizzes. And note that within categories, you can also exclude empty grades and drop the lowest. People frequently like to drop just the lowest 1 quiz. And within this category, I'm not going to exclude empty grades. And I want my quizzes all balanced equally, but I do want them average. So I'm going to select mean of grades for that category. And then I go ahead and save changes. And now what I want to do is I want to take all of my quizzes and move them and put them into my quiz category. So how do I do that? What I'll do is I will go through and select all of my quizzes. And then I will just down here, move select items to quizzes. And it takes about a second or two, and now you should see that they've all been moved into the quiz category. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add another category, and that's going to be assignments. Again, I'm going to balance my assignments equally against one another. And this time, I'm not going to let them drop the lowest. And I'm going to exclude empty grades. I'm not going to exclude empty grades, sorry. And then I'm going to save. Similar process. Select all of my assignments and move them into that category. Note you could also move them by dragging and dropping them using that button there, but then that means you would have to do them 1-1. This tends to be a much quicker way to categorize the tasks. And I'm gonna go down to the bottom, move those to assignments. Now I have one more category to add. Right now, my final exam is just sitting out here by itself, so I need to put a category for that as well, even though it's just one thing. I'm gonna put final exam, and I could leave that as, no, you know what, I'm gonna, again, change it as mean of grades. Save the changes, and then this one I'm just gonna drag because it's only one, and I'll just drag that and put that It's not letting me move it, so I'll just click here, move to final exam. And now all of my all of my tasks in the appropriate category. And I see some weights appearing here, so I think I might have not set this category up correctly. I'm going to go back in and edit that. And yeah, it's saying weighted, so I'm going to change that back to mean of grades, because I just want all of my assignments evenly balanced against one another, all of my quizzes evenly balanced against one another. And you'll notice now that my grade category weights are all set to 0. So now I can just put in the category weights that I want. I want 25% for this one, 35 for this one, and 40 for the final. And these can be anything you want. They're usually set by the department. The main thing to remember is that when you finish entering your new weights, click Save to ensure that your new weightings are actually saved. You'll notice that if you have entered any grades for the students, you'll see a message saying grades are being recalculated. Now, one of the nice things about the gradebook is, let's say that, and I'm going to go back to the course, let's say that you're going through and you go to your assignment number 1, and students have passed their assignments in, and you want to grade it. You could go ahead and grade the assignments. It'll take you to the grading screen. Because there are no, well, I can show you from the class that I do have. So let me go back. If I click on an assignment in this class, quiz. Where's an assignment to grade? No, I'm not going to actually grade it, because obviously all of these grades have been submitted. So I don't want to edit any of the drives, but I'll just show you how it shows up. So when the students have submitted, you would just go ahead and click grade, and it will take you and show you each student's assignments. And sometimes if the assignment can only be accessed by download, it'll give you a message here. PDFs can be viewed in this window and graded directly, but other files like documents or PowerPoint slides or whatever must be downloaded first. So then you can go ahead and grade it. I usually grade using a rubric. There is another session showing you how to use how to use rubrics. But once those grades have been entered, the nice thing is that that grade is automatically transmitted directly to your gradebook. You do not have to enter the grade into your gradebook once you grade the student's work. So if I went to my gradebook now, I would see that for Jalila, that assignment, I think it was assignment 4, was already automatically entered. And not only is that automatically entered, the grade is automatically calculated out. Assignment 4, yeah. And so Jalila, you'll see it's automatically entered here. And if I went to the gradebook and looked at the setup, you'll see that the assignments here, 30%, so that assignment is specifically weighted 30% against all the other grades. Note that this score here is going to reflect whatever you put as your total marks for your assignment. Again, I used different values for each of them, but I still wanted them weighted equally against one another. So I didn't have specific weights for my gradebook. So that's pretty much it for setting up your gradebook. The last thing that I want to show you is the way that you can actually see your grades. So it's useful, particularly when entering your final grades, that you're able to see straight from your gradebook what the overall grade is. And so you'll notice here, I have both the student's percentage and their actual letter grade showing up in the gradebook. You can set those viewing preferences back on your preferences page here. Again, you would go to the setup link, and then you would go to course grade settings, and then you just determine how you want your gradebook to look. This first thing is where you want to see, where you want that final grade to appear. I have it appearing at the very end. That's the default. That's fine. And then this one talks about how you want that grade to show. So I've set it to show the percentage and the letter grade, so I know what the actual score is and what the actual grade that I will report in Banner will be. So that's the Moodle Gradebook in a nutshell. I'm going to open the floor up to questions now. Just feel free to go ahead and open your mic and ask questions.
Hey, Dr. Bethel, thank you very much. I have several questions.
Excellent.
But, on the last thing that you mentioned, now after you've graded a PDF,
yes,
how can the student see that graded
excellent.
work?
Yeah, excellent question. So, good. Let's go into. I'm going to pick an assignment. So the week 2 assignment. What, if I understand the question correctly, Mr. Foley, you want this to give the grade for that assignment. You also want to give them some feedback so that they can know what they did wrong, how they can improve, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, but on the sheet itself, I'm grading on the sheet.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good, perfect. So when you are creating the assignments, or later on, if you want to, you can make this change at any time. Just open the assignment, click the settings cogwheel to the top right, edit the settings, and then you're going to go down to the selection that says feedback types. Open that one up, and you'll see that you have feedback comments, annotate PDF, offline grading, worksheet, feedback files. So feedback comments, let me try and find a grade for one of my students. Feedback comments appear in a little box next to the assignment. So what does that mean? I'm going to go back to this same assignment 4. Feedback comments will appear in a window down here, so the students can see it when they click that assignment. They will see this feedback here. That's if you select feedback comments. Annotate PDF will allow you, if the student uploads a PDF as their assignment, to actually add comments directly to the PDF itself. And when you click Save Changes, when that student goes back, they can actually open the PDF and see your comments added into it. I'm going to see if I can find a student that that submitted a PDF to one of these assignments and see if I can show you what that looks like. Submission, let's see, no, these are all shared links by the looks of it. Shared links, right? I'll see if I can find another assignment. No, that's a image. All right, I'll try and find another assignment so I can show you that. And is that what you were referring to, Mr. Foley?
Yes, Dr. Bethel.
Yeah. So
you're saying then that once I tick annotated, was it annotated something you said?
Annotate PDF.
Yeah, they're going to see it when they click submit.
When yes. Okay. No. Once you have finished grading it, when they click the PDF again,
and I click save, and I click save.
Exactly. They will be able to see it.
Okay, I understand the feedback comments box.
Yeah.
What about this offline grading worksheet? What's that?
So I don't usually use that.
Okay,
Basically,
well,
yeah, I mean, so basically what it means is that you can set up a sheet that has points that you can then upload and attach to that assignment. But what it means is if you have 13 students in your class, you're going to be uploading 13 different
oh,
worksheets, graded
okay,
worksheets.
okay,
Some faculty members prefer that, but
okay.
my view is that if you're
That's
going to go
really
to that trouble, if you're going to go to that trouble, you could just set up a rubric, and the
yeah.
rubric will be attached right there. I usually do rubrics for my assignment. If you attach a rubric, and I'm going to see if someone has a PDF here. I think someone does have a PDF for one of these. Here we go. Oh, wait, oops. I'm going to go and grade this. So you should see the assignment coming up in the window here.
Right.
Um, and so, oh, I didn't have, you know what? I didn't have annotate. But what would happen is if you had selected annotate, you would see a number of annotation tools appearing at the top here. You just
Yes,
click
I
on one of them,
understand that.
and then you could just
And
add the
any
different
marks I
annotation.
make on the sheet itself,
Yeah,
they'll see that.
they'll see that once you click save. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, now come back to your rubric here.
Yes,
How do I get into that? Is there a, can you show me where that it allows you to make a rubric?
it sure does. I'm just gonna briefly do it because we actually have a session that is specifically
Oh, okay.
assigned.
Well, I
What?
can leave that. I can leave that for later.
Okay,
I can
okay,
leave that for
sure.
later.
But really quickly, if you wanna look through it yourself, once you have
Yeah.
the assignment created,
Uh-huh.
again, click on the cogwheel, scroll down, and you'll see something saying advanced grading.
Okay.
Advanced grading will give you the options to create a rubric or to set up a mark scheme. The
Okay.
mark scheme is like the rubric, but instead of actually showing the different criteria and categories, it will just say these are the different areas that you're going to be marking for and the points awarded to each of the areas.
Okay. If if I can just be permitted one more question.
What? Okay,
Um,
go ahead.
um, Now what I did with the assignments,
Hmm.
I went and changed the name of the assignments. Like
Okay,
in week one, I might have not done an assignment, but week
okay,
two, let's say I did an assignment, I call it assignment one. Is that going to
okay.
create any problems?
What I would suggest if you do that, just delete assignment one. It's not, it won't create any problems, but I don't want it to throw you off when you are going back to your grade book. Let's say you download it to a spreadsheet
Yes.
and you see on the spreadsheet, wait a minute, I have three assignment ones or I have two assignment ones. So it will not affect the calculations, but if what I'm saying is if you don't have an assignment in week one, just go ahead and delete it.
Okay.
It's only there as a placeholder
Okay.
for your benefit. So anything that you're not going to use, just go ahead and delete.
Okay. One. I'm sorry to be one question. What I did, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, I hid that from students.
Yes.
And then I created an assignment from the assignment, that where you can
Yes.
select. That can
Yeah.
work as well.
That's fine too. That's absolutely
Okay.
fine
Okay.
too.
All right. Thank you.
And again, for the students, once you hide it from them um, on the course homepage, it should be hidden from them in the grade book too. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Bell.
Good. Yvonne, go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Bethel. How are you?
Excellent. Yourself?
Great. And I was having problems joining, so I came in a little late. So I don't know if you covered it as yet, but I wanted to know. I'm trying to create the assignment submission folder. I don't know if you covered that yet. I saw here where we're grading it, but
Okay.
could you show us, or did you already do it with the how to create the folder for assignments for students to upload their work?
Okay, excellent. I can show you that really easily. Just a quick, there was a question whether the recording will be on YouTube. Yes, it absolutely will be. In addition, I will be putting together some step-by-step PDFs covering everything that we've covered to date, and I will be trying to break what the content that we covered up into a series of shorter videos, so you don't have to watch the entire thing if there's a specific question that you need to be answered. So if I'm understanding correctly the question you asked, you're trying to see how you can set up something for students to submit work for,
Yeah.
like, say, assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, so like in Blackboard, we would have, I know the similar, you would have an area where you can submit for students to so for us as faculty, we would create a folder called assignment submission
Dropbox.
folder.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
And
so
upload their work. How do we do that here in?
in Moodle. Okay, excellent question. So what I've done for this course template is you'll see, and this is how your course will look as well. You'll see that the course has been broken up into week by week by week by week. What I've done in each of the weeks is created a dummy assignment for each week. Now, you could have more than this one assignment. You could have 6 assignments in week 1 if you'd like, but I figured that it's likely that most faculty members will have or could have at least one assignment. This assignment is where students can upload their work. And when the student sees this and clicks on this, what they will see, instead of grading summary, down here where it says view all submissions, their button will say submit now. And if they click that, then they can upload their file to that assignment 1. Now, what you probably are wondering then is, how do I customize this so students will know that for this particular assignment this is their essay on comparing 4 different cognitive theories, or whatever the case might be. So what you would need to do for that week 1 assignment, when you click that week 1 assignment, go to this cogwheel in the top right, click edit settings, and then you can actually customize the message that you want the students to see for this particular assignment. So you might say something like,
hold on, Dr. Bell, I had to move the photos on the side, so I didn't see what you clicked. What did you click?
Right. I'll go back. Sorry. So
we can customize.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the first thing to do is, in order to customize anything in the course, you always have to click this button here first, turn editing on. And that then will allow you to customize anything that I have, any of these dummy assignments. You can then customize them to how you want them to look. So I can go into this week 1 assignment, click on the cogwheel in the top right, and then click edit settings. And then I can set it up however I want it to be.
And am I also allowed to put a point distribution?
Absolutely. You can change everything about it. The title, what you want to say to the students here. See, and then you could add some dates. By default, these are not turned on, so you probably will want to turn them on to say when they can submit, when is the due date, when is the cutoff date, after which you're not taking any more. It can even give you a reminder when to grade it. Again, the default is for them to upload a file, but you can also set it so they can actually type some text directly onto the screen. That's what this online text is about. And then if you want to change the score, you would click grade and then put whatever number you want for your.
Okay, so it's very similar then. Okay.
Yeah, very similar. And then you just click save at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And then probably at the end, if you have an opportunity, when I was playing around with the Canvas, I was having a challenge. I normally want to create a folder, what I call course resources. So it's not a part of the regular weekly, but I normally just So
Yes,
probably at the end, if you have an opportunity, if you could show me how to
sure,
make that.
sure. Okay, sure. So any other questions about the grading in the gradebook?
Okay, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Loud and clear.
Okay, I have a question with the assignment folder. Moodle only allows for 20 submissions. So would I have to create other folders if I have a multi-sectional course or lecture theater style course?
No, when you say it only allows for 20, maximum of 20 per student.
Oh, that's 20 per student.
Yes, yes. So you could have any
Oh,
number, you could have any number for
oh,
you could
okay.
have, 2,000. But
Okay.
it's any and you can set that to, I don't normally have assignments that have more than two. I will normally have like the assignment itself and a reflection sent in a separate file. But yeah, you
Oh,
can have up to 20 per student, and that folder can have as many as you want. And note
okay.
that the way that Moodle is laid out, each assignment is going to have its own different Dropbox. And so you'll see that for each week, I've created an assignment Dropbox for each of the different assignments.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, because I was creating another Dropbox. Okay,
No, 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 no,
thanks.
no, no. You can have as many students as you want in there.
Okay.
Good. Any other questions about the gradebook? Anyone having problems setting theirs up or set it up and it didn't get the right average?
Oh, one more thing as it relates to the grade book, Dr. Bethel.
Yes.
So once we create our assignments, it automatically goes into the grade book. How do we find
Yes.
this grade? How do we find the grade book?
So good. You'll notice in your course there, and this is the way that people usually find a gradebook. You'll see a icon in the top left. It looks like 3 horizontal lines. Click on that, and this left menu will appear. You can just select grades from there. And again, this main view will show you the regular spreadsheet. And I'm going to go into my course from last semester. I go back into my grade book. The main view shows me my course grade spreadsheet. And if you want to set it up, you would click on Gradebook Setup. And this is the one that allows you to weight things and determine whether you want to have anything dropped or anything of that sort. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions on the gradebook?
Dr. Bethel,
Yes.
this is not on the grade book, but I'm noticing on one of your activity icons, you have one for attendance. Do we have an attendance icon activity? Do we have an attendance activity?
Yes, yes, you do. So, okay, what I'm going to do, and because I see that there are a couple of general questions,
No
I'm going to.
problem.
No. I'm not going to end it. I'm just going to end recording, so that the recording will only be on the gradebook, and I'll answer those other questions now. Okay, is that good?
Yes.